to Osseo High School, the Section 5A Boys Soccer Championship on the line tonight. It's a great rivalry game and two of the best teams around doing battle this evening as the Blake Bears take on the Breck Mustangs. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Sig Ligary. And Sig, you got a chance to see their regular season meeting. Safe to say that was about as exciting a game as we had all season long. These teams went at each other hard, back and forth. Breck ended up winning in an OT. We're hoping it's even close to that kind of excitement here tonight.
I would imagine it will be. I told the coaches before the game, probably one of the best games I've seen in 10, 15 years. It was up and down the field. There was no midfield play whatsoever. One team gets the ball, moves down to take it away, go counter, go the other way. It was back and forth, back and forth. Finally in OT, I think the Blake Bears ran out of gas because they had played some previous nights. And in overtime, Brett took advantage of that and they won the game. But they want revenge. Blake wants revenge for that game. Breck wants revenge for last year because Blake took them out in the Section 5 championship. So both teams have incentive. Both teams have high-skilled players and play well as a unit. So it's going to be another war.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've been able to replace some of the guys they lost from last year for both teams too. And you just kind of build. You always hope to build to this point, but doesn't happen automatically, and Breck in particular got challenged in the semifinals. A good Totino Grace team, they ended up pulling out a 1-0 win. So battle tested, I think, would describe both these teams too.
Yeah, if you look for a common denominator, you look at Totino Grace. How do they play against that team? They have a great program, so if you beat them 1-0, you've reached the top of the mountain.
Look at key players in tonight's contest, and they've both had outstanding seasons, obviously, for their teams. For Blake, we're going to talk about a senior, Will Mortensen, and he's been able to put them things together on the offensive end for sure.
If you look at the numbers, it's almost mind-blowing. He's number 19 senior. He's got 19 goals and 20 assists. I mean, that tells you a lot what this guy can do. He can score, he can set the play up, he can pass off to somebody else. Obviously a good player. We saw him last time. He's going to be very tough to guard against.
One of the guys who put one away against Blake the first time for Breck, and Jake Silverman's had a good year for them as well.
Yes, he has. He's got 19 goals also and 7 assists. Same thing. A lot of up-top power, a lot of good skill. When we watched those two players last time, Charlie Beatty and I did that game, it was just so much fun to watch those guys play and shoot. It was just a great game.
Certainly big rivals, and there's a lot at stake in this one. Sometimes that leads teams to play a little bit more cautious at playoff time. Don't really get the feeling that's going to be the case with these two, though.
It might be for the first 5 or 6 minutes, and then they're going to open up. These two teams go at each other hard. They play hard, they play tough. They do a lot of, not checking, but a lot of bumping and going after the ball. Not dirty plays, but they're very aggressive. I think the adrenaline's going to get to all the players, and they're going to play full speed.
All right, should be an interesting one here tonight, and only one of these great teams can go on to the state tournament in Class A. It's Blake and Breck meeting for the Section 5 title, and it's next on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
And welcome back here to John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field. And unfortunately, John Hanson just passed away in the last week or so, the former Osseo football coach who the field here was renamed after. And we are underway here as Breck controls it to start it out, but not for long. Quick takeaway for the Bears as they look to come on the attack, and an early shot and a one-hopper grabbed by Gunnar Evanstad, the Mustangs keeper. So I wouldn't call it a tough test, but he faces a shot in about the first 15 seconds of tonight's contest. And there's a quick takeaway here for the Bears as well, but the shot rushed a little bit as Keegan James intercepted that one. And Evanstead might want to be a little careful there as he had that one taken away immediately. As you can look there at Keegan James for the Bears. Bouncer up the middle. And once again, Blake quickly gains control, sent up, and Evanstead had to get away from him. It's going to be a corner kick as he was pressured by Mortensen. And Blake will quickly get a corner. Boy, they have come out strong here in the first minute. And putting a little bit of pressure already on Breck's net. Jackson Lagos will take the corner here for the Bears.
We thought it would take 5 or 6 minutes. It took 15 seconds to get things going. Lagos with a deep kick. That'll be a goal kick for Blake Bears.
Breck.
Breck. Mustangs.
David Gorman lining it up here. The wind has picked up a little bit. We've had so many windy days lately. Earlier today it really wasn't, but a little bit more so here for the boys game. The first game was a dramatic win for the Blake girls in the Section 5 girls finals. They scored in the last 15 seconds of regulation to pull out a win over Benilde. And now here's Breck with its first opportunity with little momentum going forward here, and the shot is going to sail up over the net. Sebastian Hobart is in goal for Blake, and he's really the third keeper to have played some this year for Blake. Landon Peterson got injured in that Breck game, was kind of their starter, and then Henry Watson has also played some, and he's got mono. So Sebastian, they say he's aggressive. He's played some, not a lot, but some, and he hasn't allowed a goal yet, and he's kind of fearless out there. The coach was kind of joking that he's, doesn't know any better. Sometimes he just, comes out and does his thing, and pretty free-spirited guy out there. Pass ahead and a little bump there, and I don't know if it would be a free kick or just a throw here for the Bears.
Just a throw. It was shoulder to shoulder. You're going to see a lot of that. A lot of contact, a lot of pushing and shoving.
Jake Shapiro, the throw in there. Bears trying to send one in, but Tyler Holmes had that one denied, and back the other way come the Mustangs. However, whistle down here as that ball got out of over the touchline.
Yep, just rolled over the edge.
Lagos trying to play that one ahead. Mustangs able to force a turnover, then a little collision, but they briefly took the ball back there with Jake Silverman. Now Breck looking to move it right side again. Ball played ahead there, looking for Roberto Ayana. Ayana wanted to draw a corner there, but the defender was able to get his foot out of the way, and it's scooped up there by Hobart. And so he gets a chance to touch the ball early on here. His counterpart at the other end, Evanstead, was pretty busy in that first minute. Blake really came out attacking for sure. Silverman trying to free that ball up and was able to do so. Nikolai Ganev playing it to the outside there for Callum Bristow. Be a throw coming for Breck. So you get a look at the starting unit for Tamba Johnson and the Blake Bears. Sent toward the net here, and it bounces away. It's going to be goal kick here for Blake. And the starters for Breck with Evanstead has already had some work, and it was really at the back end that they needed to replace a lot from their team last year, and not just keeper, but on the defensive side too. A little more experience through midfield and up front for Breck. And obviously both teams have had very strong years. It was kind of interesting that Blake, 4 losses, they all came in a row, and then haven't lost since.
Yeah, they lost to St. Louis Park on a Tuesday. Then they'll play Breck on Wednesday. They lost that in overtime. Then they lost 2 more, and then they got back to the winning ways.
You know what? There's a turnover here as Blake able to get the steal. Jake Shapiro playing it to the outside, but a nice step up and takeaway there by McNally, and it gets out of play. You know, sometimes you look at it and you think, oh, they must have been in a big slump. But a lot of it has to do, too, with who you were playing in those games. I mean, that was unquestionably the toughest part of their schedule as well. And yeah, maybe they didn't play quite as well as they would have wanted to in those games. And, you know, when you're a defending state champion, you don't really think you're going to lose any time you play. But Certainly it's something that doesn't have to doom you for the rest of the season or anything like that.
Right. They played Holy Angels and Orono lost to those 2 games, and beat North, Minneapolis South, and St. Thomas Academy to wind up the season.
Bears working the ball around nicely here. Brian Brenner controlling. And tapped to the outside by Mortensen. Brenner getting it back here for Blake. Bring it right side. Jake Shapiro sending one out front. Now the follow-up try and a bouncer as Lagos didn't really hit that one as well as he could have or thought he might, but still a dangerous opportunity there. It was interesting. Sam Scheidemann, the defender, got in the way of that one, but it was kind of hit him in the back, and he didn't really know where it was at that point.
Yeah, he couldn't get the opportunity to really set up that shot. The one thing you're going to see a lot of in this match on both sides is 1-touch, 2-touch. You're not going to see somebody dribble the ball down the field very often, because the other team's going to just swarm all over you if you do that.
And now playing it ahead there to Jake Silverman, now dishing left side, Walsh Kern. Kern will drop it back and then get a return. They came at him hard, but he was able to sidestep that, and broken up though by Henderson for Blake.
But this is a continuation of the last game. As soon as somebody gets near the ball, the other team is right on them.
Henderson turns and volleys that one ahead, but coming back, Breck has kind of evened things out a little bit after Blake really had the better of things in the first couple minutes for sure. Going to play it all the way back here to Evanstead. Pop-up kick there.
Into the wind, so kind of slow down when that reached the apex.
Yeah, so many times in all the playoff games that we've done over the years, Sig, you see it tends to be when you get to mid-October quite a few windy nights, and who has the wind in which half really makes a difference in a lot of games. I don't know if it's strong enough in this one that it's going to have that kind of impact, but I mean, I even saw games over last weekend where you think like, wow, it's, whatever team, they really kind of dominated this first half, and then the wind is a bigger factor than you realize, because all of a sudden it a lot of times flips the field in the second half for a team that has it at their back.
Yeah, that's true, and the wind can change directions and speed at a heartbeat.
There's a look at the flags. It's definitely enough to affect balls in the air. I don't think it's overall going to have a huge impact like it does sometimes in the playoffs. And it's easy to say just, well, you have to play through it and you keep the ball on the ground and all that, but the honest truth is it does have a factor in a lot of these playoff games. And weather in general, not just wind, but we've seen rain and snow even the last week. So Blake's going to get a free kick opportunity here. They have had the better of things in the early going. No great chances yet, but Matthew Carlson going to elect to go up the left side with it. Now a nice cross here off a defender, bounces in front. Oh boy, and a stop made by Evanstead as he wound up in a sitting position. Ball hit a defender and then was redirected by, I believe, Shapiro. And that one very nearly wound up in the net. You see the pass off the defender. There's Shapiro getting the foot. Oh, wow.
Boy,
that was really close to going in. Kind of equal parts lucky and good there for Evanstead.
Yeah.
You give him credit, he was in the right position, but that one could have easily got underneath him.
You see it again. He just gets down there and gets that right hand to scoop the ball in to keep it from going over the end line.
Shapiro did a nice job of redirecting that one with his foot. It was nothing really that he did wrong there. It just happened to be a nice stop. And Breck dodging a bullet there. Blake nearly taking the lead. Throw in now for the Mustangs. Little tap back and knock back in. The Bears will regroup and send it back over to Henderson. He's going to look to switch fields here. Brings it around toward Tyler Holmes. He was pressured. Be a throw for Blake.
See, that's what we were talking about. Even when you're moving up to get a ball, there's always going to be somebody trying to attack.
Mustangs able to force a turnover there, and that ball just went over the touchline. Osseo High School, the site of this one. I got to be honest, I'm not loving the orange and black touchline. I think it's been tough for the players to tell exactly which it is.
Yeah, it gets a little difficult down there.
Be a free kick coming here for the Mustangs. David Gorman lining it up.
First foul for the Bears. And on these free kicks, they like to go really long.
And there's Gorman heading it right back in, and then a header by Ganev. But first to it for the Bears is Carlson. He's able to send it up the sideline. Nassim Kushner controlling it for Breck. Dropping it around to McNally, and nicely they come up the left side there as Ralph Smith's turning with it.
Yep, he kept that ball 2 steps too long.
Now the Bears with Jake Shapiro trying to work his way through, but no way, says McNally, and then it was knocked away from McNally. It'll be a throw, though, for Breck. Coleman McNally doing a nice job there.
That was a good, clean takeaway.
Nice ball there by Silverman. They try to get it back. Now Silverman, that's going to be offside. Yep. And then he ends up putting in the net, which Blake probably doesn't love, but he's played through. That one was pretty obvious offside, though.
Well, I guess he figured he might as well take a shot. Yeah, way offside.
Sent long up the middle. Nicely defended, though, and the Mustangs looking to quickly counter. Nice reach to get to that one by Aganev. Get a throw coming here for Breck. Quickly taken away, though. Ooh, and then a trip as Ganev, and he's been told to settle down. No card coming, but got a little physical on that tackle, and he realized it. Pops up right away. Another look after the steal there, and Jackson Lagos taken down hard.
Brian Holmes is the center referee for this match. Sonny Icariga, sorry. Sonny is AR1, and Andy Ball is number 2.
Overrun there a little bit. Bears will try to capitalize, push straight up the gut, and Evanstead comes sliding out to meet it as a turnover nearly costing Breck. Blake did not waste any time moving to the attack there, and you see the run, and Gorman able to kind of shield off Mortensen from being able to get to that one. Here comes Lagos. He'll drop it back now. Casey Shoemate playing there to Shapiro, and he'll send another one up, and once again Evanstead's going to come off his line and drive it out of there.
I think Blake is having the bigger advantage of controlling the ball and moving into the offensive zone, but the Breck defense has been right there.
Ganev playing it up right side.
Good transition. Oh, nice poke pass.
Then back to the outside, but offside again here is the redirect from Silverman and then Ganev, but saw the flag went up there. So free kick here for Henderson of the Bears. Driving it upfield, and then a miss hit there. The Windmills, though, getting it out to the outside, and Breck looking to jump into the attack here. But a quick takeaway, and then right back the other direction, and then in turn picked up by Blake again. Shapiro plays it to himself up the line. He's double teamed, but he got it through there and wasn't really shooting that ball. Was trying to get Mortensen, but didn't quite connect. But still, you know, if you're Blake, I think you have to you like the way you're playing so far. They've been relatively crisp here, I think.
Yeah, nice short passes, quick movement, nice takeaways, good tackles.
Now the Mustangs force a turnover. Silverman playing at Tuganev. Now on the outside, Ralph Smits. Smits looking for space, getting it to Ganev. Now he crosses it with the left foot. Defense stayed in pretty good shape back there. And eventually, Shapiro had the takeaway, but then grabbed right back by Lewin Mills. Silverman volleys it to the front. Now Ganev with the control of it. Puts it out front. No, they're offside. Or perhaps it went over the end line. It looks like goal kick upcoming either way there.
I think it's a goal kick. But nice idea in that crossing pass.
There is a look at Tamba Johnson. He said, yeah, this one's going to be a war. And you said, well, it's a friendly. He said, maybe not so friendly rivalry. It's a rivalry.
Yeah. I mean, they know each other. They're playing on club teams with each other. But when they get to this game, these two teams and the whistle blows, all bets are off. And we've seen that already. They're very aggressive on both sides, very fast.
Well, and it's kind of one of those rivalries that goes back through generations. I mean, obviously not all or even maybe very many at all of these kids necessarily had, siblings or parents or whatever that went to the two schools, but it's kind of been ingrained for many, many years. It's one of those rivalries that probably metro-wide maybe everybody doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Because they're, relatively small schools and all that, but it's, that's kind of ingrained in you if you go to Breck that you got to beat Blake and vice versa, and whether it's soccer or whatever sport.
School spirit is high.
Battle for it here, and a good hustle to keep that one going by Spencer Chapman. Henderson able to meet him, though. Henderson with a little size advantage there, and it will be a throw, though, for Breck as Chapman stayed with him and pressured him, and ultimately it'll be a throw for the Mustangs. Henderson first to it with the header there, and then flicked on out by Keegan James. Another opportunity, and now they do get it ahead. Ball just bounced away a little bit, and Breck will pound it off the field. We'll get a throw coming for Jake Shapiro of the Bears, looking to go corner with it. Pretty nice read, though, by Gorman. Gorman then stepped on the ball and nearly lost it. And it'll be Blake's throw. Mortensen putting good pressure on him. He'll give it to Jake Shapiro for the throw. Going to come real short with it to Mortensen. Dropping it back now. Tyler Holmes sending one out front. Here's the header, and it goes just wide. Pretty nice little maneuver to get to that ball. It kind of looked like the defender was going to be there first, but Benji Pomonas was able to kind of finagle his way in front of the defender and get a little flick with the header. I thought at first this ball was going to be Breck clearing it, but you see they backed off maybe a little more than they ought to have, and Benji jumped in and got a header away.
Got to be careful with that.
Knocked out a play here, and a throw coming for Blake as they have again kind of tilted the field and
just a bit. Yeah,
had things in their advantage here again for quite a while. If you're just joining us, no score on the board, and really one real grade A chance for Blake. They very nearly scored, but they came out and got a shot on net in about the first 15 seconds of this one. They kind of established the tone right from the get-go. Here come the Bears again. Mortensen playing it around one, but then some help arrived. And it'll go out of play. Shapiro with the quick throw-in. And then knocked back out. Shapiro almost grabbed that ball really before it had even crossed the line and just threw it in, and they let him get away with it. I was kind of thinking they might stop things.
Maybe he got confused with the lines like we did. A quick update, the center referee is Ron Leaf. AR1 is Brian Holmes, and across the way in AR2 is Sonny Ikoriegi. Want to get Sonny's name properly done?
Corner kick here for Matthew Carlson and the Bears.
So when I checked the officials down there, didn't match with the information that I got before the game. Oh, nice.
Oof. Near collision there, too, as Gorman came out with the header, and his keeper, Evanstead, was trying to catch the ball, so it's just going to be another corner. Same spot here for Carlson and the Bears. See a lot of jousting out front. This time punched right back out of there. This one will be another corner, it looks like, or will be a throw. It's way down. Yeah, going to be a corner. So Evanstead's not going to take any chances in traffic there, trying to catch that ball and maybe letting it slip through his fingers.
Yeah, it's coming in pretty hot, so the best thing to do is either punch it out or punch it over the line. This one's a little bit deeper.
And the header there was, the defender got a part of it too, it looked like, so Evanstead had an easy catch of that one. And he will look for an opportunity here or direction where he wants to go with this one. He goes short up the middle, but he did get it right to Gannett. Now Kern sending it ahead. It's going to roll all the way down to the other end. Hobart will come up with it. Hobart booming one. High bouncer. Mortensen waiting patiently for it to come down, and apparently it went out. It will be a throw for Breck. Past the halfway point of the first half now. No score on the board. Blake with the one very good chance so far, and no doubt they've had the better of the play in the early going. It bounced down, and Evanstead will grab it up. You know, I was almost thinking that in the regular season. I mean, obviously you didn't want to lose that game, and it hurt you to lose that game and all that, but I always feel like sometimes it gives that team a little bit of a chip on their shoulder when you lose that regular season meeting between two, pretty evenly matched teams like that, that they maybe have just that extra little incentive to come back and win the second time around. Not that it, let's face it, it really doesn't matter that much who won the regular season meeting. It's this one that everyone's going to remember.
Well, yeah, that's what they were saying also, that the one you remember is this one. But like we said before, that Blake last season beating Breck in the Section 5A championship to go in the state and eventually win the state championship. So Breck wants the revenge on that, and now Blake wants the revenge on losing back in September.
Got to look there briefly at George Stumpfig, the Breck head coach. He said we knew we'd be tested against the Tino Grace, and we were. They're good. Here's an opportunity as Mortensen is double teamed there. It'll be a throw for Blake.
Yeah, we've covered the Tino Grace team many times in the years. Bill Vance has a fabulous program over there, always has a good team. But this whole conference is filled with really good teams.
Played back around now. Howard Henderson as they switch fields to the left side. Now grabbed up there by Scheidemann for Breck, but they lose it. There's a look at Coach Stumpfig.
18th year at the helm of the Mustangs.
It's interesting. I was looking today that both teams, in some ways I would have guessed it to be more, but both teams have been in the state tournament a total of 5 times each. You have to factor in that a lot of those years they would have had to go through each other. So there might have been other years where they were good enough to, and then obviously in recent seasons, the way everything's been aligned, you've also had Tino Grace. As you look at the tournament history, each team has won a championship, a couple of them for the Bears, including last season, obviously, and Breck champs in 05 and last in the tournament in 15. So again, a lot of years, the majority of those years, they couldn't both be in because they were playing each other. Not always, but in many of the cases. And then, like we said, some of the recent years, you've also had Benilde and you've had Tino Grace. So, it's no question the toughest section. Here's a pass ahead, the shot by Mortensen, and it is in. A goal for the Bears. Their pressure finally paying off, and Blake will strike first.
Well, we talked about Mortensen being so dangerous. That time, just watch this nice pass.
You see that Shapiro putting it perfect. Evanstead came out, which I think was the right move, but he just didn't quite get there. So Shapiro will get the assist, and that's one of those where it's a real good assist. It isn't,
Yes.
Sometimes it's just, the last guy who passed the ball, but that one was well placed.
That was Yeah, you couldn't put, that's the only place you could put it. And Mortensen finished it. Good look there at number 19.
I was thinking that earlier in the half, that Blake, okay, a couple of these turned out to be near misses and all, but they have to probably feel pretty good about some of the attacks that they were generating, and then ultimately they get that one to go. And not surprisingly, after a goal was scored, things got real physical for a moment there, and the call went against Blake, and Lucas, the Windmills, will line it up here on a free kick for Breck.
Pretty far out, but he gets up to the wall.
Headed by Ganev, it comes loose in front and then volleyed out of there. Brenner, those can be really dangerous where you think, okay, the initial free kick isn't amounting to much, but then bounces around. Now the attack the other way, and we're going to have a foul here against.
You may get a card on this one.
Yeah, Kushner, very physical with the tackle, and indeed it looks like the card will be coming out. Yep. As he took Mortensen down hard.
He'll see it again. Yeah, he wasn't even playing the ball. He just hip checked him. Fortunately, Mortensen rolled on the pitch and did not get injured.
I think a good call there.
Yes.
I mean, not just to call a foul, but to give the yellow, because that one was a little out of the, a little extra, a little out of the ordinary, and could hurt a player. And then also could take away a scoring chance there, too.
Right. No, that was a good call by the referee, Ken. That's Ron Leaf, center referee.
Pomonas will take this free kick.
Although I think Brian Holmes on the AR1 was the one who raised the flag first.
Yeah, he was right near it.
Yeah, he saw it first.
Chip to the front. Gorman got there first, then volleyed back in.
Ooh, those could be dangerous.
Yeah, Evanstead juggling it briefly there.
That's a keeper's nightmares to have a ball that comes up way up in the air like that, because it can get just over your fingertips and then it's got nowhere else to go except in the net.
And when it's up in the air too, you can't help but sort of feel the bodies in front of you coming. You know somebody is eventually going to be there, and where are they and how are they going to contact me?
Yeah, you can feel the footsteps. Yeah, Blake is doing a marvelous job of controlling the ball and moving it well, passing it well. I mean, it's a game that really I expected a lot of action, a lot of quick, fast-paced movement on both sides. Entertaining.
Throw coming here for Breck. I think it's fair to say at this point that Breck would tell you we haven't really played our game in this first half, though. They've been outplayed, and by a fair margin, I would say. Yep. Maybe surprising considering that they beat them once and that, the records are about the same and all that. Played up the right side here, long race for it. Silverman trying to get control back, and then he took down Henderson. And now a call's coming the other way. I don't think this one's going to be a card, but it's going to be a talking to.
There's Ron Leaf giving him some official instructions, like don't do that.
So free kick here for the Bears. They have played a very good first half and now lead at 1-0 with ticking down toward 12 minutes to go in this opening half of play here at John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field here, Osseo High School, the neutral site for the Section 5A Girls and Boys Championships. Blake beat Benilde 2-1 in the girls title game, and there Silverman was tripped up. It'll be a free kick coming here for Breck.
Breck now 45 yards out. You see all the forwards and midfielders up front trying to find a spot, and then the Blake defenders trying to get in their way.
Windmills will take this one into the wall, and it's headed to the outside. Good hustle to keep that ball alive. Sent back into the Breck zone there where Scheidemann comes up with it. And it'll bounce out of play. A throw coming here for Breck as Coleman McNally getting set to trigger it in. Smits will drop that pass back. Gorman playing it right onto the foot there and return pass to McNally. Breck showing its skill there in short area, but a nice takeaway by a Shoemate. Headed high up in the air, Smits trying to control it as he does battle there with a Shoemate. Ooh, and then a major collision. The call is going to go against Blake.
Just a little bit on the inside.
Both went after it pretty hard. I thought it was kind of a coin flip as to who this might be on. Oh, I don't think that was the right call.
It wasn't the right call. No, he hip checked him right into the side, into the side of the body. So you're right. That should have gone the other way.
Played ahead here. Smits trying to hold off Shoemate there. Pass drop back, and then a shot attempt from McNally. Didn't have much on it. Hovard will come out and grab it up. He has not had much work, obviously, in this first half so far.
Actually, none in terms of shots on goal. 2 shots taken by the Breck Mustangs.
It was interesting talking to Tamba Johnson about Hovard. You know, he said, how much confidence do you have in him? And he said, well, he tells me that I haven't allowed a goal yet, Coach. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Keep it out of the net? Because he said sometimes it can be a little unorthodox and maybe a little, kind of over-eager out there. But
he gets the job done. That's all you can ask for. I mean, and he's right. You talk about statistics. Hey, I haven't given up a goal. I must be doing something right.
Nice work there by Shoemate. And Smith's got a piece of it, but it'll be Brenner tracking it down, dropping it back for Carlson. Up the line with it he goes. And they try to go back to the outside, Pomonas, but it gets away. It'll be a throw coming for Breck. High bouncer here. That pass deflected. Breck has just really struggled to get a whole lot going in this first half.
Yeah, they playing fairly well on defense, but can't really get it together going past midfield.
To the outside, here's Pomonas. Puts it out front. Gorman stopped it, but it'll be a corner kick upcoming. Did a nice job of getting to that ball, but then couldn't control it or keep it away and wasn't going to take any chances there. So Lagos will line it up for a corner here for the Bears.
So I wonder if we search the audience, will we see his grandfather? Or his father?
Yeah, Lagos, a big name in Minnesota soccer for the last 25, 30 years or more.
Yeah, I can remember first time I met those guys and saw Manny playing was at the USA Cup up in Blaine.
Another corner kick upcoming for Blake here, and this is the kind of thing where if you're Breck or any team, you kind of crossing your fingers. You don't want to allow too many of these, and they have so far in this first half. Lagos, another one. Oh, and that one gets through everyone. And we'll bounce all the way for a goal kick. And we have a Breck player shaken up here after things went back upfield. Looks like it's Silverman.
Oh, you don't want him hurt. Yeah, it is. He signals, I think he's signaling that he was okay, but they're going to take him out, take a look at him. That's the guy with 19 goals.
And there was a little bit of tangle up of bodies in there trying to, get to that ball out front. I didn't really see what exactly happened. He seems to be walking relatively well, so
yes.
I wouldn't at first glance say it's, necessarily a night ender or anything. But,
no, I think he'll be all right. We'll keep an eye on him on the bench. I'm sure he'll be back pretty soon. Breck with the kick.
Strong header there by Smits, but it's actually going to get out of play up the line there, and we'll get a throw here for Blake. Tyler Holmes taking the throw in here for the Bears. And then jabbed back out of play by Lewin Mills. We'll get another throw coming here for Blake. There'll be some, some strategy talked about here for Breck at halftime. They've been outplayed. Now going to have coming up with it here. Tried to get through a couple players, but the last one's take it from him. Brenner sending it ahead. Gorman with the header. Now bounces around. Here's Mortensen with the shot and the stop by Evanstead. Got pretty good amount of foot on it, but he put it relatively straight at the keeper there.
I like the beautiful move he made to get in there just to get contact with the ball. That was a great individual effort and still got a shot on goal.
Nice takeaway there by Breck after it looked like the Bears were going to get something started, but then that pass deflected. Shapiro able to control it. His pass deflected. It'll be a throw coming up here for Blake. Under 6 minutes to go now in this opening half, and Blake leading it by a score of 1-0. They've had really the only two really nice chances in the first half. One of them was stopped by Evanstead. The second one went in. Lewin Mills with the steal there for Breck. And there's Carlson stepping up to meet that pass. The Bears have done a nice job of really reading and anticipating. They seem like they've been a little bit a step quicker to a lot of balls too.
Yeah, they're anticipating the passes better. They're filling the passing lanes. That's Tom Johnson from the Bears watching on. And another takeaway.
Gorman stepping in to break that one up for Breck. Kern puts the brakes on here, and now we'll dish it out on the left side. Another nice takeaway there for Blake, and now they quickly trying to turn to offense. Gorman steps up to meet it, but it will be a throw here for the Bears. Jake Shapiro's had some good moments here in this first half. He has an assist on the one goal. Henderson swinging it around to Carlson here on the left side. Nice job coming to meet it there by Lagos. He's doubled up a little bit and drops the pass back, and then that one blocked. Shoemate getting the pass ahead there. Mortensen then had it jabbed away. And Av coming up the middle here for Breck. That's the thing, both these teams have plenty of skill. That maybe a 1-0 deficit or a 1-goal deficit isn't quite as insurmountable as, sometimes you get in these section finals and goals are so hard to come by, but these teams both have enough skill that, you're not going to be feeling comfortable with a 1-goal lead at all.
No, not at all. The first time they played, one team got ahead, the other took a while, the other team got caught up, and then it went back and forth. So yeah, you're right. They can score at almost any moment once they get a couple passes together or a breakaway.
High bouncer here is going to go out of play. We get a throw coming for Breck. And a nice takeaway there. Now played outside to Shapiro. Trying to get it to Mortensen. The ball bounced through the defender. Now a follow-up opportunity and a rising shot that'll go up and over the net there as James tried to put one on net there, but just sailed it a little bit high. But again, Blake able to generate some chances.
Yeah, looking over at the score sheet for Willie Markham, he got 10 shots taken so far for the Bears.
Gonna make them redo that one. I think they were up the field a little bit farther than referee wanted them there. So David Gorman will take the kick here for Breck. Again, the Bears get first touch on it here. Now Gorman coming up to meet it. But Shapiro following up, and a hard one-hopper. Juggled briefly by Evanstead as he had James coming at him, but able to cover that one up. This has been another bit of an issue as that one skipped off a defender first. That one made it a little tougher play, but Breck besides maybe being outplayed just overall, they've turned the ball over off of some goal kicks and free kicks too.
Yes, yeah, you don't want to see that. I mean, it's one thing if the team takes it away from you. It's not good to just give it up.
Free kick here coming for Blake.
Coach Stumfig watching his players. Hoping that they can get an equalizer here going into the half.
Smith's giving it to Kern. Kern, a nice move and keeps possession, works his way right into the heart of the D. Kern all the way. Oh, it is just denied at the last second.
Wow, what a move.
I thought at any moment somebody was going to stop him, and Kern just kept going, and he almost finished that one off. That would have been one heck of a goal.
That would have been incredible.
Corner kick coming here for Breck as we go under a minute to play in the half.
First corner of the half.
Knocked out of there. Smits, though, is going to get to it, and he'll chip it out front. Here's the header. Keeper is out, and it's a goal.
Wow.
Breck will tie it up as Hovard came out to try and meet it. And it's Parker Sargent getting the header goal for Breck, and we are even at a goal apiece. Well, how about that? It's been a Blake half for the most part, but they get the one good chance created by Kern. It was blocked, turns into a corner kick, and here's the look. Smith serving this one out front, and there you see Parker Sargent getting his head to it, and Hobart at that point caught in no man's land. Sargent will get his 4th goal of the season.
See what we're just talking about? Somebody can make a mistake. That time keeper came out anticipated getting out there early, but that didn't see that header coming. Sargent hitting a beautiful header into the open net. And we are tied 1-1. This is what Breck needed getting into the half.
Boy, just when you were saying that they could use a goal, I thought, well, they haven't generated much yet. We'll see if they, and then sure enough, there it came. Kanev's pass is blocked. So if you're Blake right now, I think the challenge is not to let that one get you down too much, because overall you played a great first half. But obviously Breck, they're looking for that to give them a major shot in the arm heading into half number 2. And basically we're back to where we started. Obviously it was 0-0 for a bit, and then Blake got one, but the Mustangs answer in the final minute of the first half. So our halftime score here in this Section 5A championship, it is Blake and Breck tied up at a goal apiece. We'll have first half highlights and then our second half to decide this Section 5 title here on CCX Sports.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your boss, your boss's boss, you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face, in
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back here. The Section 5A Boys Soccer Championship on the line here at Osseo on CCX Sports. It is Breck and Blake tied up at a goal apiece here in this 2019 title game. And Blake, of course, a successful run last year in the state tournament, but it started with a run in the section championship game. As you get a look here at the opportunity that goes in, and right back here at Osseo a year ago as Blake played Totino Grace in the championship. Tying goal there on the turnaround try by the Eagles. And it was a physical one back then too. Ooh, guys going after it. And it's Blake ended up winning the game a year ago here, the header that pops in. And of course they carried that momentum onto not only the section title, but the state championship as well in Class A. Well, and we talked about it, we've referenced it quite a bit tonight. The regular season meeting between these two teams was a beauty in September, and that came at Breck.
Yeah, that's the game I was lucky enough to be up in the booth watching. It was really exciting.
And there was one that got over Evansted on a high. And then
looks familiar, right?
Yeah, and there's a ball that deflected off a defender's foot, and Carlson able to bury it there for Blake, and then goal there for Walsh Kern for Breck, and then Smith's putting it out front, and Silverman gets to it for an overtime goal, and Breck, even for good measure, added one more in the overtime. Ended up winning it by a final 4-2, and that one gave them the IMAC championship, and both teams said, you know what, obviously there's things you're looking for beyond the conference title, but that's the first thing you want to win, and that's what Breck was able to do. And you see the bracket in Section 5A, and year in and year out, there's not much doubt that this is the most difficult section for sure. And Blake advancing here to the final, and Breck, that tough game against Totino Grace in the semifinals, and that puts these two teams, you know, we haven't necessarily always had the 1 and 2 seeds making it to the final in this section when you got as many good quality teams as you do have. So
yeah, if you look at the first four, you know, the top 4 teams with Breck, Blake, De La Salle, Totino Grace, I mean, they got some really good teams in that whole area, and it's very difficult to get through that section.
Yeah, the one upset, if you want to call it that, was Benilde beating De La Salle in that quarterfinal round, and then Blake was able to get the Red Knights in the semifinals, and so that's where we sit here tonight. We have to think probably the winner of this game will be certainly a team that you could consider one of the favorites anyway. Whichever one gets to the state tournament.
Yeah, I would think so. They have the credentials to get a high seeding in the state tournament. We'll find out this coming weekend.
We will take a timeout. We'll come back with our first half highlights and stats, and then we'll get back to it here. Breck and Blake, boys soccer for the 5A title on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here. Pretty nice evening, especially compared to some we've had lately, as Breck and Blake battle for the Section 5A championship. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Sig Ligry. Thanks so much for joining us, not only for tonight's game, but all season long soccer here on CCX. Let's take a look at highlights from the opening half of play here. And, for a lot of the half, it was Blake. It was a Blake half. You see this ball deflecting, and there's Shapiro. Great stop by Evanstead, but then here's the goal. Nice ball ahead by Shapiro. Mortensen got to it just before the keeper could get there and tucks it past a sliding Gunnar Evanstead, and Blake takes the lead there. But Breck coming back. Kern, watch this move downfield. A couple moves, couple more. Finally, the shot does end up getting blocked by the defender, but it leads to a corner kick, and ultimately Smits putting it out front. Parker Sargent the header. And Hovard, in hindsight, probably wishes he had stayed back on his line a little bit there, and he was coming out to try and intercept this high cross, and instead winds up in the back of the net. But hindsight's 20/20. Obviously, keepers, you don't want to. You'd rather not have that shot even happen by intercepting the ball, but he just couldn't quite get there. As you see this first half stats.
And look at the numbers. The Bears with 11 shots to 3, 8 shots on goal to 1, fouls even 4-4, corner kicks Bears 5-1. So the numbers are stacked on the Bears. It's not stacked on the scoreboards like you're saying, Jay. With these two teams, a 1-goal lead is not that much to get over, and that turned out to be the absolute fact.
We'll take one more timeout and come back with the start of our second half here in this Section 5A championship.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got
this. Teams back on the field and just about ready to begin half number 2 here. Be interesting, Sig, to see what the momentum, how it changed based on Breck getting that goal late in the first half, because Blake really was pretty much in control, and then just like that, bang, it's tied up.
Well, I'm sure it's going to give a big momentum to Breck to come back, and then for Blake, they got to ask themselves, wow, we had so much possession, so much control, and we only got 1 goal out of it. And then we let Breck get back into the game near the end of the first half.
Yeah, it's important for them not to hang their heads because, as I said, that was probably about a 9 on a 10 scale for them as far as how they played that first half, with the exception of that, that little 10-second bit. But that's what you know about these teams, is that they're both capable of scoring even when they haven't had big chances earlier.
Right, and you can't afford to let up at all, because if you do, they will take advantage of you. I think both teams in the first half played a fast-paced game, short passing, quick passing, a lot of one-touch, two-touch. Most of that by necessity, because you're going to get covered by someone.
Free kick here for Keegan James of Blake. James gets plenty of foot on it into traffic. It's punched out of there by Evanstead.
And again, with that particular type of play, the smartest thing you could do is punch that ball out, get it out of the danger area, and let your defense drive it out.
Headed back out of play here by Blake. We'll get another throw coming for Breck as Kushner will trigger it in. An illegal throw, though, and it'll turn it right back over.
Ooh, you don't want to do that.
Pass drop back here. Tyler Holmes had that one denied. Gonna have sending it ahead, and that's gonna come all the way down to Hobart. Knocking it out to midfield, and Smits pass behind its intended target. The Bears quickly turn to offense here. Lagos playing it through, and lots of traffic there. Evanstead came out, and let's see what looks like this.
So some discussion on that.
Might it be a PK would be the other question.
Yeah, if that was a handball called in the box, let's see if we can pick it up.
Or a trip on the keeper.
Yeah,
he reached out with his hand, and I think this is going to be a penalty kick. Yep. In getting a look at it again, I can see the call a lot more than I could the first time, because Evanstead, it looked like, reached out and purposely with his hand tripped him up. So Keegan James will try and put Blake back in front as he gets a penalty kick opportunity just a little over 2 minutes into this first half. James with the shot and stopped by Evanstead. The rebound though is off the crossbar. Oh my. Then a follow-up try goes high. Oh boy, Breck dodging a bullet right there, and Evanstead getting congratulations from his teammates as he does the improbable and stopping a penalty kick, and then the follow-up try bangs off the crossbar.
And that's what they have to be careful of, because if the penalty kick is blocked, that's a live ball.
And you see the follow-up there, James. He's going to be thinking,
wow.
He's going to have that sequence going through his head tonight, especially if they don't end up winning this game. But
oh my!
Evanstead really guessed right and making a huge stop.
He's still smiling. Yep, you made a great play. No doubt about that one. So Blake missing a golden opportunity.
Ball to the outside here, and Lagos controlling. Shapiro. High bouncer knocked out of there. I'll give the referee credit for being willing to, obviously you're not really wanting to see big games decided by penalty kicks, but I think it was really the call that needed to be made. We might have another.
Yes.
Going to have another penalty kick awarded here to Blake.
Yep.
A takedown in the box. And when have you ever seen this? This is about just over a minute apart, or a minute and a half apart. Blake will get a second penalty kick opportunity. And
inside.
Push down was Jackson Lagos, and I think Lagos this time will take the shot. You're not going to go back to James, I guess, because he got stopped, but Lagos with the penalty kick. Here's his try, and it is in. Blake retakes the lead.
Well, how many penalty kicks have we seen during the year? Here we got two of them back to back. They stopped one, but not the second one.
And Lagos had some words there for Evanstead, who he thought was kind of showboating a little bit, I think, on stopping the first one.
You see right in the corner, exactly where you want to put it. No way can the keeper get there, even if they guess right.
And you see Mortensen, the wise veteran, telling him, all right, back off on that. We don't need a card for taunting there.
Right. I was going to say the same thing. It's okay to be excited, but you can't. There we go. That's a Lagos legacy right there.
Got the United jackets on too. Always out promoting.
Well, of course. So
Blake going back in front, a very rare occurrence, seeing two penalty kicks awarded within about a minute and a half span. The first one stopped, the second one goes in. It was interesting because I was just getting done talking about how I thought it was a nice, an accurate and correct call to award that first penalty kick. And the second one wasn't maybe quite as they were different. Let's put it that way. He was definitely pushed down though.
And those have to be called. I mean, I know it's a big game, but if a flagrant foul is committed in the penalty box, you have to call it.
Right. Yeah, it's just otherwise. I mean, let's be honest. If you were totally unwilling to call those, there'd really be no reason not to just take people down when they had a scoring chance.
Of course, yeah, that's why you have to do that.
That pass goes through, and it'll be a goal kick coming up here for Blake. So I don't think this will do anything to diminish the intensity out there.
No,
now,
I think it's going to increase.
Yeah, you see a couple of penalty kicks awarded like that, and now you have to have in the back of your mind, if you're Blake, that we got to be careful here, because it's only human nature to say now if there's anything close to one for Breck, that they'll probably go and award that as well. Mortensen controlling here. Almost gave it up, but got the pass away. Gorman, who's a big guy back there and not afraid to use his body for the Mustangs. Now Silverman. Lagos gets to it, lifting that one out front, but taken away.
I'm here.
Kern able to work it past the defender. Kern, who had that magnificent run that set up the corner kick that set up the goal in the first half for Breck. Nice passing there, but it's going to roll. And Hobart calling off his defender to come out and grab that one. And Gorman nearly had that one get all the way past him, but he does a nice job recovering to drive it out of play. We'll get a throw coming here for Blake. Bears lead it 2-1, a penalty kick goal here pretty early in the second half, giving them the lead after Breck had stopped a penalty kick right before that. High chip here, Shapiro trying to get to it. Now the high bouncer knocked out of play by Breck's McNally. It'll be a throw coming for Blake. Lagos saying he wants that throw, and he will trigger it in. Mortensen trying to control it, but then boomed out of there. Silverman coming back to meet it nicely for Breck, but he had to wait for some help to come. And then a takedown called against Silverman, and it will be a free kick here for Blake. Well, it's been interesting because, we thought Breck was clearly outplayed in the first half, but they get a goal late in the half, and you're thinking, they're going to have the momentum, but giving up, 2 penalty kicks early in the half kind of can deflate that momentum, I'd say, huh?
Yeah, you can certainly get to you. But this is a team of resilience, so I would expect them to keep playing hard.
Smith sending it way across to Kern. Nice ball there.
Nobody else with them. Now, here they come.
Kern had a take and
he didn't get all ball. Oh, watch out. Watch
out. Through complaining.
Be careful when you do that. I've seen more cards go up for language than I have for action.
There you see it. I thought it did look pretty clean actually too, and I can kind of see it, but you're right. You gotta kind of take a deep breath if you're Lagos. I know easier said than done. Anybody in any sport that's ever had a call that they felt was wrong is their first reaction is to do what he did. Here's Lewin Mills putting it out front, and the header will go just wide. Wow, they got exactly what they wanted there, but the header bouncing just wide from Ralph Smits. Boy, as he broke free, they really had a nice set play there. The defenders were trying to stay with him, and they got kind of caught up in traffic, and it's very rare that you get that clean of a look on a free kick from that spot. But
yeah, that was pretty. Just lunged ahead and almost put it into the inside of that far post.
Yeah, and Hobart at that point, all he could do was turn and hope that it didn't go in, because it was past him. I mean, he had no way to get to that post at that time.
No, it happened so quickly. That's what we're saying. Breck is not going to sit back and watch. They're going to be aggressive as they have been.
Carlson throwing it in here for Blake. Silverman's pass is deflected out of play. We'll get a throw coming up again. McNally is going to be subbed for as Maverick Pink coming in. Hard to beat that name. He'll take the throw in here for the Mustangs. And it goes out off of Ganev, and it'll be a throw now for Blake. And then this one gets away from Shapiro, so they trade turnovers here. Feels like there's been a little bit of a lull right now compared to what it's been most of the game. Like everybody's kind of taking a deep breath here. Yep. Came out and expended a lot of energy early in the second half. And now things are sort of settling in a little bit. Here's Walsh Kern again trying to get through. You know, that one earlier, you kind of thinking at first like, oh, you got to pass that ball, but boy, he did a heck of a job working his way through traffic.
Yeah, you can't fault him for that. If you can get good penetration like that, then by all means go for it. But I was expecting him the last time to pass it off. It was a battle for the ball. Still made
Silverman, he was tripped up.
Boy, that was just outside the box. So we almost had a PK in the other direction.
Looks like they did not call a foul, though. Looks like it'll be just a throw-in.
Yeah, throw-in. The ball went over before that. It was kicked out.
Comes to the front, and some traffic there. The Bears have to hammer it on out, and things got a little iffy for them for a moment. So Breck, again, they're just a goal away from tying it up, even though, like we said, in the first half, they were outplayed for much of the half. Long throw in there. Henderson is first to it, but Lewin Mills heading it back out front, and then off a defender and right to the keeper.
That could have been a disaster.
Boy, a strong header there, as it looked like the initial play was broken up, but they got a lot on that.
Yeah, that header had much more on it than I thought it was going to be.
Lewin Mills will drop it back. Pass attempt broken up. Breck will try again, but a nice read there. Now Holmes sending it up the line. And Jake Shapiro does a nice job winning that ball, but not for long. Taken back here by Chapman of Breck. Throw coming here for the Mustangs. Kind of feeling the momentum turning a little bit toward Breck here. I think they, haven't had a lot of chances generated or anything, but Blake hasn't controlled play quite as much here in the last, say, 5 minutes or so. Ganev nearly had the steal, and then a big collision, and let's see, this call is going to go against Breck as Keegan James went down hard.
Things getting a bit physical.
Oof.
Yeah, wow,
yeah, I think
slid right into him.
Yeah, that's the correct call. Silverman didn't like it, but that was a dangerous one. So Henderson with the free kick here for Blake. Shapiro dropping it off to Pomonis. Looking for a little space. Now gets the cross away. Here's an opportunity to shot. Oh, and a foot save there by Evanstead as he's able to stop Mortensen. Boy, that one looked like it might turn into a goal right there. Mortensen got control of the ball and not very far away from the goal and put one on, but
here you see it.
I think he was all ready to celebrate there, but Evanstead able to make the stop.
He had his eye on it all the way.
Ganev's pass to the middle. Silverman then try to get it back to him, but it was deflected. Here come the Bears. Pomona's couldn't quite hold possession there. We will get a throw for Breck. Still plenty of time to go here. Mustangs trailing it by 1. About 25 minutes left here in the second half.
And the rule of thumb has not changed. 1 goal doesn't mean a whole lot between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd rather be the team ahead, but yeah, you don't feel like, okay, we've got this one based on the way they can score the ball. Smith's dropping it back. Then knocked away from Ayana. Oop, Ayana is knocked down. We'll get a call here against Blake. Free kick coming up for Breck as Lagos gets a little talking to. Another look right there.
Got a little elbow.
Yeah, and the feet got tangled too, and the combination of the two made that one, I think, a pretty easy call.
I think the elbow's the one that got it. Free kick here for the Bears. Sends that one deep, headed.
High bouncer out front. Oh, and there's a collision as the keeper came out. And now we're going to get a call going against Breck. They came aggressive after this one as you get a look at Hobart into the middle of traffic and then right there, yep. As jumping Ayana colliding with the keeper. And obviously the keeper's going to get a little extra protection in there.
Yes, because the keeper's defenseless.
Nice takeaway. Now Kern.
I think he turned into him.
Get a throw for Breck though, as it does go off a Blake foot, and they look to get it to Kern. Nice defense by Lasoff though for Blake.
I wouldn't be surprised if they double team Walsh Kern from now on, so he doesn't get the chance to get that dribbling to penetrate the defense. We have substitution coming in.
Haven't really seen a whole lot of subs in this one.
No, I think, have you seen any?
Yeah, a little bit, but
not much.
Yeah, not much, especially for Blake. Lifted to the front here, and nobody really close enough to create a problem for Hobart there. There's Ayana knocking that one down, but then Blake gets it back, but not for long. The Windmills. Shapiro put the pressure on, and now Lagos up with it, but nice takeaway by Lewin Mills, and then taken right back, though, by Pomonas. And then back again the other way as Scheidemann gets in there. Ooh, and then it's drilled right off of Scheidemann from close range, but it'll bounce right back to Sebastian Hobart. Hobart just about turned that one over. In the pass getting to Shapiro. Blake on the move. Mortensen dropping it back there for Shoemate. But then that one was intercepted. Bears, though, get it back. Mortensen lost it to Lewin Mills. Gorman getting back now to Lewin Mills. Tried to come up the line there, but Shoemate got a piece of that. Shoemate and Smith's battle. It'll be out off of Breck. Throw in for Blake. Well, not panic time for Breck yet by any means. We still got about halfway or a little more than halfway to go in this half. But, you know, as the clock continues to tick, you start to get a little more anxious to try and at least get some opportunities, because obviously it has to start there with being able to get control and generate something.
Yeah, otherwise get that apprehension. But the way this is going, it's not going to be a lock-in until the last 3 seconds.
Yeah, although I think if you're Breck, the margin there, you can't count on getting only one good chance and it goes in again either.
That's true. You want to get a score as early as possible. Good look there. Will Mortensen, number 19.
Free kick here for the Bears. Breck has played more physical in the second half, and it hasn't always been to their benefit as they've been whistled for some key fouls here. Obviously, the two that led to penalty kicks being first and foremost.
Yeah, not just the foul, but where you commit the foul.
Smith's getting control here and off to Ganev, but battle for it now as it bounces around. Ayana. Drop it back, and then the return pass, though, is a little too hard, and it's lost. Lagos giving it to Pomonis, playing it forward, but nobody home there for Blake, and Evanstead will come out and grab it. With the wind at his back, he drives it way upfield. Kern trying to get control here.
He does.
Oh,
look at
Kern,
this.
Look at his footwork.
It's like a clinic. Look at this.
Walsh Kern chipping it ahead. Here's a chance. The shot will go wide.
What a beautiful pass that was. Oh my goodness.
Got it over for Smits, and I'm not sure. It looked like Smits might have been trying to make an extra pass there and drop that ball off. And instead it didn't work out, but Kern does a nice job.
There's a left-footed pass right past the defense. Smith's right there, and I don't think he got quite enough on it. I think the ball was jumping up a little bit. He didn't get a full swing on it.
Goal kick here for Blake as they kind of dodged a bullet there, Breck, showing an ability to generate something there.
Big bullet at Stern, but like I said, he was putting on a clinic out there.
Pass knocked away. Ganev trying to keep control and does so. And then a near takeaway. Oh, great work by Pomonis. Left it over there for Nate Gullickson, who's now in there, number 20. And now here's Shapiro playing it out for Mortensen. Mortensen working his way through traffic, then turns and fires in a low one hopper short side, and Evanstead was ready. Boy, there's times when it's looked like they've had Mortensen well defended, and somehow he's able to shake off the defenders and get himself a little bit free.
Well, that's how you get 20 goals now and 20 assists.
Here you got to look at Gullickson, who's been one of the few subs to come in now for Blake. Takeaway there, and a nice one by Pomonis. Now Ganev trying to get it ahead. There's Pomonis again, though, with the steal. Mortensen left it, and then looking for a return. Breck read it pretty well that time, though. Ball overrun, and it'll lead to Blake with a little bit of an opportunity, though. Pomonis trying to play it out wide beyond the defender there, but Pink stayed with him. And it'll be a throw for Breck.
Pink calling for the ball. And we have some more substitutions. As Pink comes out.
McNally will come back in here for Breck. David Gorman will throw it in here for the Mustangs. Flicked ahead there by Chapman, and now sent up by Silverman way across Smits, running it down here.
Well, it's a 1-on-5. Now it's 2-on-5 as the defense comes back and forwards get into position.
Bears trying to clear it. Lewin Mills knocked it back in. Now he and Gullickson do battle, and Bears are going to knock it on out of there. And now we're kind of getting to the point in the game where, you know, if you're Blake, you don't want to sit back in a shell by any means, but if you are in doubt, you're going to look to clear the ball here.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You got to clear the ball.
Throw in here coming for Blake as more substitutions come.
Yeah, just as we were saying, there haven't been many substitutions. Here we go. Getting all the starters out, giving them a rest, bring it back in for the last 7 or 8 minutes, or maybe before that.
Mortensen lofting it ahead, trying to go to Shapiro. Gorman with the header. The Windmills, good hustle to get to that one, but Blake will get it back. Mortensen. James now sending one ahead. Here's Lagos trying to play it through, but there's too much traffic there. Henderson waiting for it to come down, tried to head it backward there. Now bounces past a couple of guys. And Tristan Pohl.
High kick.
Yeah, dangerous kick there against Breck. We'll get a free kick coming here for Blake. Under 15 to play now in the second half. Blake leading at 2-1 in an interesting game as Blake outplayed Breck for the first half by a fair margin. However, Breck got a goal with only about 40 seconds to go in the first half, so we went into half tied 1-1. Then Blake got a penalty kick early in the half. It was stopped by Breck. Then they got another one about a minute and a half later, and the second time they were able to convert. So that's where we're at 2-1, and we've stayed there since.
And deja vu, that's the last time they played the 2-2 tie. And like you're saying, you cannot rest on your laurels against either of these teams, because they can score in a hurry.
Chipped up high in the air here. And looked like almost a handball there. Now Lagos getting to it here for Blake. Drops the pass off, and then they come to the outside for Shapiro. And it'll be a throw for Breck as Gorman got back to pressure him. Now Ganev. Nice ball there. And then we get a trip call. Oh no, ball was out over the touchline before it. It's a throw for Blake.
Fans don't like that one, but I think that was a good call.
And then headed back out. I think Breck's starting to feel a little victimized, like more of the calls have gone against them than for them.
Yeah, here you see it again, just outside. Again, those lines are confusing.
Tristan Pohl trying to get free for a shot, but Ganev there to break it up. Oh, and then a nice takeaway though by Lagos back the other way. And then he runs into traffic and taken from him, and then taken right back though by James. Tried a long shot there, and Scheidemann blocked it off. Smith's trying to turn and go here for Breck, and he does get control, and Ganev was stationary when he thought he might start moving. Pohl able to win it back for Blake. To the outside they come for Lagos. Lagos dropping it off, then they try to return it to him. Gorman read it and blocked it. We'll get a throw here for Blake. Each team making a substitution here. As we tick under 12 minutes to play. Carlson throwing it in, and then it's knocked out again. Another throw coming here for Blake. Obviously, the more time that spins off in these kind of scenarios, when you're the team that's ahead, you don't really mind that.
Now you're all for that because it eats up the clock.
Ooh, look at the nice move by Shapiro, but then Lewin Mills was waiting and knocked it away. Then a foul on Blake. Free kick coming here for Breck as they try and generate some offense and see if they can't get this thing tied up. They've got time, but it's starting to dwindle. 11 and a half to go. Here's a bouncer that comes right over to Sargent, who had Breck's goal earlier tonight on a header. And that'll be a push call there against Walsh-Kern. And Blake's player, James, a little slow to get up here.
Pretty blatant. Put his arm around his shoulder and pushed him down. Lucky he didn't get a card on that one.
I think Kern's kind of saying, well, what do you expect when you stop right in front of me? You know.
Yeah, well, if you stop in front of me, I'm going to run you over.
Yeah. and got kind of an impromptu timeout here, and I don't know if that was due to the injury or.
I don't know, but they got a team meeting going on, both sides.
Well, we remind you to vote for our CCX Sports Play of the Week. It is brought to you by Chick-fil-A in Maple Grove. Each week, starting Monday, we put 4 new plays of the week candidates up on our website, ccxmedia.org, and it's up to you, the viewers, to vote and decide. And we've had some great ones of late, and we've had a lot of votes coming in, and we love it. So check it out each week. Had some good soccer ones recently as well, and got some state tournament games upcoming that you'll be able to see on CCX too. So keep watching, keep voting. And we appreciate Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove sponsoring that. Here's Henderson knocking it upfield. Sargent knocked it down, and then the Bears are just going to boom it on out of there. But Breck was ready and got it back to the Blake end of the field anyway. Now Lewin Mills sending it back. Silverman tapping it out towards Smits. Now Lewin Mills able to keep possession here for Breck. Oh, nice recovery. Silverman chipping one to the front. Long run to get there, and scrambling back in net there was Hobart. Then they back pass, and that one is skied way over the top by Lucas Lewin Mills.
Yeah, that one's halfway to Brooklyn Park.
Well, that's the other direction.
It's that way? Halfway to
Maple Grove.
Maple Grove, all right.
Actually, we're.
It was one of those.
Yeah. This field where it actually is, I think, is, if not partially in Maple Grove, then very, very close to the border where it.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly when I lived here, this part here is in Maple Grove.
They never advertise it as that though, because you know, when you're Osseo, you don't want to call it Maple Grove. I don't know. It's very close. I'm
right. It's
sure
it's like going in Champlin Park, because that's in Brooklyn Park. School's Champlin Park.
Up the line it comes. Here is another opportunity for Breck to try and generate something here. Lewin Mills is going to chip one to the front. Ooh, a nice read to block that one though, as he was trying to find Smits. And again, Breck's got enough firepower that Blake cannot be feeling overly confident with this lead. And I'm not saying they are. It's just the way got to beware.
I think what's happening here is Breck is taking these longer shots now, trying to drive the ball in.
Here's a high header, and that one's going to bounce wide, and Hobart will watch it go.
So take the shots outside, hope for a header or a redirect of some kind.
Coming in for the Bears, number 9, Jackson Lagos.
That's a pretty good strategy at this point of the game.
Henderson will take the goal kick here for Blake. Nice turn there by Pomonas, but not able to keep it in play. We will get a throw coming for Breck.
Hey, turn face. Nicky.
McNally to throw it in here. You see Blake settling back into a more defensive alignment a little bit here, which is smart and necessary, but at the same time sometimes it can feel like you've started to allow offense that you weren't earlier. Oh boy, near that one could have been trouble. Evanstead playing that one himself, and he almost gave it to Shapiro. The danger was, obviously he was coming out of the edge of the box, so that's why he couldn't grab it immediately.
Yeah, that's what we're saying all game long. You cannot afford to make a mistake because the other team is so fast and they get there so quickly that you really get burned.
And knocked up field here. It'll be controlled by Kushner, sending it up here, but chest trap down there at midfield, and a nice play by Brenner to get to that ball. Mortensen.
Nice defense played.
And then it went out over the touchline. It'll be a throw for Blake, as they trying to dribble up the line there, and McNally couldn't quite keep it in, I think. So Blake will take the throw in as we've gone under 7 minutes to play here in regulation. Blake 2 and Breck 1 in this Section 5 championship. Trying to throw it down toward the corner. Gorman trying to head it out of there now. He's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, a nice way to back heel kick that one out, but it'll be another throw for Blake.
But it gives Breck a chance to get their defense back into position.
Lagos was trying to get a turn there and go, but now back upfield it comes. Chip to the front here by the Bears, and might be a handball. Oh, we're going to have another penalty kick, I think. A handball called against Breck.
Inside the box.
And another penalty kick here for the Bears.
Can you believe that?
Watch this ball as it missed the first guy, and then right here it comes up and into the forearm and elbow of McNally.
And it's inside the box.
So another penalty kick. This will be Lagos taking this one. He converted earlier after the first one was stopped. Here's his shot. It is in again, and it is 3-1 Bears. So the Blake Bears getting a virtually unheard of 3 penalty kick opportunities in the second half. 2 of the 3 go in, and they lead it 3-1.
I can't remember ever seeing that. Here is again. He goes left, he goes right. Makes it look easy.
Boy, and from that low angle, you get a feel for just how big that net looks there for a keeper to try and cover.
When you're a keeper, that thing feels like it's about 3 miles wide.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously just have to guess right entirely, and they have to put the shot at you. As you see the Lagos family there, they've been a little too long to start celebrating just yet. But ooh, there's a nice shot on from distance there, but Hobart able to grab it there for the Bears.
Yeah, I think he was sending a text to a family member there.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
I
would agree. He got another one.
Yeah, that was a good look there at Manny Lagos.
Chipped high in the air here, and Pomonis waiting for it to come down. And then a trip on Pomonis. We'll get a free kick here for Breck. See what this will do to the end of the game now, because I think it changes the complexion quite a bit to be a 2-goal lead instead of 1.
You're going to have to be aggressive if you're a Breck. Send the ball down. Go 20, 30 yards if you can, and make something happen.
Flick to the front. Henderson knocked it high up in the air. Pomonis trying to get control, and down he went. Lofted to the front and over the top of Hobart as the wind was helping that one. I don't think he touched it though. So it will be a goal kick. We've got a clock stoppage here though, I think. Is this because of a little bit of an injury perhaps?
Coming in for the Bears, number 15, Jake Shapiro.
Shapiro will come back in. Now they'll wind the clock again.
4.5 minutes to go in the match.
Knocked away from Sargent. Now going to have dropping the ball back. Now high bouncer here, and Hobart coming out to grab it. This is going to be one of those strange games, and let's be honest. If you're Breck, you're probably going to say, "Wow, did we get jobbed?" 3 penalty kicks in 1 half. But I don't know. If you take a look at them individually, they were, I think, pretty defensible calls.
Yes. Yeah. You can't slight the referee from making those calls. He has to call those again.
And you could see on the last one, the handball, he kind of shrugged and said, that's what happened. That's why I'm calling it.
Yeah, so. I didn't mean to, but hey, the rule's the rule.
Get a throw here for Breck. And I think the situation might have been a little different. If the ball had hit a Blake foot and then gone up into his arm, you could probably, justify it as being inadvertent a lot easier. But it went off his own foot up into his own forearm.
Yep, and either way, it's a handball. I think for Blake, they have to be pretty content with the way things gone. They, as you said before, control the game very well, move the ball really well. Short pass, 1 touch, 2 touch, and were rewarded, obviously, on the PKs. Breck just not able to get really a good offensive flurry going. Another dangerous kick.
Shapiro got his foot up too much, and then he came in to try and get in the way there, and the Windmills waved him away. Get out of here. Boomed up field here. Ganev knocking it to the outside. And we will get a throw for Breck. Time winding down on the Mustangs here. They are down by 2 goals. We'll get a foul call here on Blake. Free kick upcoming. Breck asking for the clock to be stopped. The ball was knocked away a little bit there, and they're still asking, and now they're the ones who are costing some time a little bit.
Yeah, they can. I mean, the referee does have the discretion near the end of the game that if the other one team that's ahead is starting to show stalled, he can stop the clock.
The Windmills putting it out front. Here's a header and a goal, and it's not over yet. Breck to within 1 as Gorman getting up for the header, and we've got 1:51 to go, and it's a 3-2 game.
See, what were we saying about it's not over till it's over?
Gorman able to put in his second goal of the year. The Windmills with the free kick.
Just perfect. Just perfect.
So 3-2 our score. We're under 2 minutes to play. Blake knocking it way downfield. Evanstead will scoop it up. Breck's going to throw the kitchen sink at him here down the stretch. Silverman with the header, and then it bounces to the middle. Mortensen knocking it up in the air. Ganev getting ahead to it. Driven back to midfield, but no further as the Mustangs will try and get something going again here. Minute 15 to go.
And at this point, you might as well send some more of those midfielders up, get some more attacking players.
Chapman with a little room, trying to put it out front, knocked down. And some Breck fans thinking that one could have been a handball on Blake there, but not the case. So we go under a minute to play. Breck down by a goal, but charging back. This one deflects. Ooh. I don't know that Carlson wanted to do exactly that. As it wound up, it wasn't too difficult for Hovard, but that one could have been trouble as Kern was coming.
Yeah, the deflection went in his direction. If it would have gone to the outside, there was another player who was ready for a big-time kick.
Chipped upfield. Blake, though, getting to it, and Shapiro does a nice job threading that one through. Under 30 seconds to go. Breck hammering it upfield, but then driven right back again. Have to hurry now as they come back with it to Kushner. Kushner's drive blocked. A race for it here. It'll be a throw for Breck, but under 10 seconds to play.
They're going to get one shot. Nope, they are not going to get any shot.
Here's a drive off the field, and Blake starts to celebrate. The Bears will win the Section 5 championship with a 3-2 victory here over Breck. A strange game for sure. Blake played a great first half, but we're still tied at halftime after Breck got one. Then an amazing 3 penalty kicks awarded to Blake in the second half. 2 of the 3 go in, so it looks like they're sitting pretty and ready to walk away with this one. And then Breck gets one in the last minute 50 to make it interesting again at 3-2, but that was all they could muster. And it will be Blake, the defending state champion, returning to the state Class A tournament. Sig, this one had a little bit of everything, and an entertaining game once again. This time it goes the Bears' way, and this is the one, as we said, that matters the most in the section tournament.
Yeah, that's what we said at the beginning of the game. These two teams are so evenly matched and so competitive that it just really highlights the skills and teamwork of both sides. We knew it was going to be a high-paced game, and it was. I think Blake obviously had the advantage in terms of possession time and better passing and better ball control. But these guys always make it exciting.
So we hope you've enjoyed this one here this evening. Another great game between these two. Congratulations to Breck on a strong season, but it'll end just a little short of what they were hoping for. And congratulations to Blake, and best of luck in the state tournament to Tamba Johnson and our old friend Aaron Pay as assistant coach, a former star for the Champlain Park Rebels as well. So your final again, Blake 3 and Breck 2. Good night from Osseo.